Hi friends, so far we are using structural directives like ngFor, ngIf, ngSwitch using this syntax. But starting from Angular 17, Angular team is suggesting to use this new control flow syntaxes. Some of us may feel lazy to learn these new syntaxes and start using these. But if you understand the benefits of using these new control flow syntaxes, you will use these only. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how we can start using these new syntaxes, the benefits of using these, especially how this is going to solve some of the common problems, and finally I'm going to show you how we can easily convert our old syntaxes into new easily. Okay, let's get started. Before that, I request you to subscribe this channel and support me. I am putting lot of efforts to prepare each video. It would be helpful if you subscribe. It won't take a lot of your time, but it is going to be a great help to me. Thanks. Okay, first let me quickly list out few of the benefits of new control flow syntaxes. Improved readability. The new syntax mimics familiar constructs from most programming languages. This leads to cleaner and more concise code. Enhanced developer experience. As this new syntax is pretty much similar to other programming languages like Java, JavaScript, the developers can easily adapt to this. It reduces the learning curve and improves the code maintainability. This leads to faster development and fewer errors, especially in complex conditional logic. Potential performance gains. With the new ngFor syntax, we can explicitly specify a track property. This allows Angular to track changes in your data more efficiently by only comparing the specified property instead of the entire object. Reduced bundle size. In some cases, the new syntax can lead to smaller bundle sizes compared to the older directive-based approach. Overall, the new control flow syntaxes in Angular make your code more readable, maintainable, and potentially performant. Okay, the boring theory part is over. Let's get into the interesting coding part. Let me show you how this new syntaxes can solve some of the common problems. To explain this, I have created this application. This is created using Angular 17. You can see I don't have an app module and my components are standalone. Okay, in this component HTML, I have kept 4 divs and 4 buttons, and I have added some CSS so we can see this. Right now all 4 divs are visible, but I need to show only one div when the respective button is clicked. Actually, we can achieve this requirement easily using ng class, but I want to explain one of the difficulties we will be facing while using ngIf. So I am going to implement this using ngIf. For that, I have kept 2 boolean variables. This variable is to highlight the active button, and when each of the buttons is clicked, I am changing the flag accordingly. So now I am going to use these 2 flags to dynamically show the correct div. Like this. But we are seeing ngIf is throwing error. That is because this is a standalone component. So either we need to import ngIf directive or we need to import the common module. You can see I have already imported ng class directive. So instead, let me remove these and import the common module. Now the error is gone. Also, we can see this is working as expected. Okay, right now we have only 2 flags. But if there are more flags, this combination is going to be high and so the readability comes down. So instead of this way, we shall use ng container to refine this. This is somewhat readable, where we have segregated the red and green logic. We can see this is also working as expected. But whenever we have something like if-else scenario, we can use else instead of negation like this. So let's change this. First, let's remove this negation. Then we need to change this ng container to ng template. Let's add a reference variable. Now we can use that in the else part, like this. Now also this is working like before. But we have changed only the outer block. Let's also change the inner block. Okay, finally we got this. And this is also working. But surely this is not readable. Right now we have only 2 flags. When there are more flags, this is going to be a nightmare. Don't worry, our new control flow syntax solves this problem. Let me rewrite this using our new syntax. First, let me introduce a if block for red logic. Inside that, let me add another if block for circle logic. Here I can place my red circle div. Then I can introduce an else block for my red square. Like this. Similarly, let me introduce an outer else block for green logic. Inside that, let me have if and else blocks for circle and square. Okay, that's it. Now this is readable. And also, we don't want to import either ngIf directive or common module separately. As we are not including common module, the bundle size will also come down, which improves the performance. Okay, let's test it once. Yes, it is working. Let's get into the next problem. In this component, I have an array of few numbers. The requirement is to create an unordered list using this array. Actually, I used to ask this question during Angular interviews. This question seems to be very easy, but using this, we can really understand whether the candidate has really worked in Angular and how strong they are. To achieve this, we need to create one UL tag. Inside that, we need to create one LI tag. Now we need to use ngFor. If you are strong in Angular, you know where to add the ngFor. But I have seen so many people who fake their experience struggle in this. They use ngFor in the UL tag, like this. If you see the output, it will look good. But actually this is wrong. Because instead of one unordered list, this code has generated many. If we inspect, we can understand. See, so many UL tags. But there should be only one UL tag. After I point out this, they will move the ngFor from UL tag to LI tag. Now this is good. But the next thing I will ask them to do is to show only the even or odd numbers. One condition, they should not change anything in the TypeScript component. They can change only in the HTML component. I have seen many people trying to write an ngIf condition along with ngFor. Without any second thought, they will not be selected even if they answer other questions correctly. And many people know that we cannot use two structural directives in the same element. So they will try to use a span, div or a p tag. Then I will introduce the next condition. They should not change the UL-LI structure by introducing a span, div or a p tag. Some of them know we can use ngContainer to solve this. But I have seen few of them struggle in the implementation. They get the confusion whether to wrap the UL tag with the ngContainer or the LI tag. The right way is, inside UL tag, we can introduce a ngContainer, and inside that we can use the ngFor. And in the LI tag, we can use the ngIf to show only the even or odd numbers, like this. And so we get the expected output. But going forward, no more confusion on this. Using the new syntax, we can easily implement this. We can create a for block like this, in which we can have num of nums. We should not use the let keyword like before. Also, we need to add the track. I will come to this shortly. For now, I'm just adding this track. And then, inside this for block, we can have our LI tag. Whatever we are going to keep inside the for block will be iterated. And so, we can see the output. Now, if we need to show only the even numbers, we can easily introduce an if block. It is clear and concise. Also, in the component, we don't want to import these directives. Okay, now let's come to this track we added in the for block. In this component, I have a countries array. In the HTML, I am using ngFor to loop through these countries. Then I have an update button. On clicking this, I am calling a function. And inside this function, I am replacing the array. Here I have updated only the second element. I have changed United States to USA. So we can see on clicking this button, this is getting changed. This seems to be good. But if we inspect, we can see even though we are updating only this element, Angular does not know what to update, and so all elements are getting updated. When there are more number of elements in the array, this is going to be a performance issue. We have track by to address this issue. Let me add a track by function. I have already uploaded a more detailed video on how to optimize ngFor using track by. If you are interested, you can watch that once. Okay, now if I click the update, we can see only the second element is getting updated. Let's see how this is going to be in the new syntax. As track is going to be mandatory now, and as we have passed the unique ID, we don't want to create a separate function. So if we update it, we can see only the second element is getting updated. In places where we don't have an unique ID, we can use the index like this, or simply like this. Okay, let's also see one more use of new control flow syntaxes. In this component, I'm having an items array. And in the HTML, I'm looping through this array and displaying all items. So we are seeing this. Assume this is coming from database and sometimes there may not be any data. In such situation, we may need to show some message to the user. For that, we can use a ngIf to show a div when the items.length is equal to 0. Let's see how we can do this using new control flow syntax. In new syntax, we don't want a ngIf. Instead, we have an empty block. We can use that. Like this. This is also very useful. Okay, let's also see how we can use switch case using new syntax. Again, I'm using same kind of requirement, but this time I have implemented using switch case. This is older implementation where we use ngSwitch and ngSwitch case. We need to import these. Using newer syntax, we can implement this using switch block and case blocks. In case we need to use default block, we can use. Now we don't want to import these. And this is easy to read and maintain. Okay, these are some of the benefits of using new control flow syntaxes. Now let's see how we can change our old syntaxes to new using CLI. I have copied this application and I have deleted all our new control flow syntaxes implementation. Now in all the components, we can see only the old syntaxes. Okay, now we can use this CLI command to convert all old syntaxes to new syntaxes. Let me execute this. It is asking for the path. Let me give // to migrate my complete project. We can also give specific directory instead. It is asking whether to reformat my template. Let me give yes. As this is Angular 17, this is throwing the warning this feature is in developer preview. I believe this warning would have removed in 18. I didn't get a chance to verify this in 18. Okay, now it has been updated. Let's see in the components. We can see it is converted, but instead of empty block, it is still using if block. This is good. This is also good. Switch case is also good. Here it is still using track by ID function instead of ID. In components, this migration has removed the directive imports and removed the import statements as well. Okay, let's quickly test whether this migration is working, especially the empty block and track by changes. Okay, empty logic is working. Track by change is also working. Hope you understood the benefits of new control flow syntaxes, how we can use them, and how to migrate our old syntaxes to new. That's all for today. If you like this video, please hit the like button. Share this with your friends and colleagues. Please post your valuable comments in the comment section. I'll be back with another concept soon. Thank you. Bye.